Good evening, everyone. I'm lead forecaster Peyton Sanders here in the Cirrus Weather Lab. We are tracking severe storms across south central Kansas this evening, keeping a particularly close eye on the storm that is across the far eastern portions of Sumner and the western portions of Cowley County right now. Let's take a closer look at that storm on our high resolution version of Storm View radar right now. And as we take a look, we've been monitoring carefully. We have had train spotters in the field reporting a rotating wall cloud near Gueda Springs right now. That's across the far eastern portions of Sumner County, western portions of Cowley County right now. So the storm is rotating. You can sort of see the rotation starting to get a little bit better organized there, right around Gueda Springs, moving off to the east. So we do not have a tornado warning officially at this point. The Weather Service keeping a close eye on it, but that would continue to move in an easterly direction there and would eventually affect areas like Hackney, perhaps just areas just to northwest of the Arkansas City area as well. So we're going to continue to monitor this as it continues to push off to the east, but the rotation has been on the increase here in the past few scans of the radar. So the Weather Service keeping a close eye on that, and we'll keep a close eye on it as well. But at this time, no active tornado warning. We do have, however, a few severe thunderstorm warnings here across south central Kansas. Let me get you the latest information on those right now. We have a couple of them in effect, one for Harper and Sumner counties that has just been issued a few minutes ago. Southeastern Harper County and western Sumner County under a severe thunderstorm warning until 7:30. Severe thunderstorm 6 miles to the south and east of Bluff City, moving off to the northeast at 25 miles per hour. This is the storm that we're looking at right there. Going to be capable of some 60-mile-per-hour winds and half-dollar size hail. Again, that storm moving off to the north and east at around 25 miles per hour. The other storm that we are looking at here, as we were mentioning, has a severe thunderstorm warning on it right now. It's for central Cowley and east central Sumner counties until 7 p.m. Some golf ball sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds going to be possible with that storm. Again, we're keeping a close eye on it. And then as we head here into Butler and Cowley counties right now, a severe thunderstorm warning there. That goes until 7:30. Some 60-mile-per-hour winds and half-dollar size hail going to be possible with that storm as it moves off to the north and east. 5 miles per hour. So we're going to continue to monitor all of these storms. Also tracking another strong storm just south of Clearwater right now in south central Kansas. That's not severe right now, but it could be as we can continue on here through the evening. So we'll keep a close eye on that activity as well. And we also do have a severe thunderstorm warning across the far southeastern portion of the state for Labette County. That goes until 7 o'clock. Let's take a closer look at that storm. That's just east of Coffeyville right now, moving off to the east at around 20 miles per hour. Golf ball sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds are going to be possible with that storm. So again, for the time being, all we have are active severe thunderstorm warnings through south central Kansas. We're also monitoring far eastern Kansas for the possibility of more storm development. Let's take a look at our watches that are in effect right now. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch across the far extreme eastern portions of the state. That's for all the counties that are touching the Missouri border. That's a new watch issued that goes until 2 a.m. Central Time. And we're watching that other watch across south central and southeastern Kansas. That goes until 10 p.m. Central Time tonight. Main risks are going to be some large hail and damaging winds with these storms, but we can't rule out an isolated tornado or two, especially across south central and southeastern Kansas here through the evening hours. So again, right now, if you're just joining us, we're monitoring a storm across south central Kansas carefully. Let me take you back over toward the radar right now. We do not have any active tornado warnings at this point, but we're continuing to monitor this storm very carefully across the eastern portions of Sumner, western portions of Cowley County right now. We have some rotation around Gueda Springs. We've had train spotters in the field report a wall cloud, and we've been seeing pictures on that. We've sent those out on social media on Facebook and Twitter. But again, we are looking at this area, monitoring it just north of Gueda Springs. In fact, I'd include Gueda Springs in that as well. This is continuing to push off to the east, so no official tornado warning at this point in time. We do have trained spotters in the field on this storm, plenty of them. So let's see. Just reading up on something here from the Storm Prediction Center. So yeah, that's what we are monitoring. The Storm Prediction Center mentioning this as well. A window of opportunity does appear to exist for at least a small increase in the tornadic potential with these storms here within the next 2 hours that are near and north of the Kansas-Oklahoma line. So we'll continue to monitor that storm carefully there, again, across the eastern portions of Sumner, western portions of Cowley County right now. Where we have plenty of train spotters that are in the field, and we'll keep a close eye on that storm as it continues to move off to the east. Just got in a new severe thunderstorm warning for northeastern Cherokee and southern Barton counties, or excuse me, northeastern Cherokee County, that's in Kansas, across the far southeastern portion of the state. Let's take a look at that. That's the storm that's south of Pittsburgh there, moving off to the east at 25 miles per hour, some 60-mile-per-hour winds, and quarter-sized hail going to be possible with that storm again as it continues to move off to the east. So that storm affecting Cherokee County, and it'll be moving off into Missouri here fairly quickly. We've had some reports of hail. Just getting in a report of some half-dollar sized hail in Cowley. Let's come back to that storm right now. That's the storm that we're continuing to monitor carefully. Some reports. Let's see. Nine miles southwest of Winfield there, we have a report of some, that'll be some half-dollar sized hail. Brandon Ivy, who I believe is on this storm as well, just said where he reported going in through some tennis ball sized hail. So this is definitely a very strong storm right now. If you're in Winfield in the Hackney area, you're likely about to be getting in on some heavy rain and some of that large hail. Let's see what our radar is estimating the maximum hail size at. Our radar is estimating maximum hail size up to tennis ball size. So that report of that tennis ball size hail from Brandon Ivy wouldn't surprise me, especially with the structure of this storm right now. So we'll keep a close eye on it. Again, if you're just joining us, we're monitoring reports of a wall cloud. We have proof of the wall cloud. We've been monitoring pictures here behind the scenes on social media. Definitely a well-defined wall cloud with this storm right now. We do not have any active tornado warning at this point, but that may be in part because we have so many spotters on this storm right now. They're having a pretty good handle on it. So we're definitely going to keep a very close eye on this storm as it continues to push off to the east. But again, we are not seeing any sort of tornado at this point, just some rotation with that wall cloud there just north and right around Gueda Springs, moving off to the east. So definitely if you're in Gueda Springs, Hackney over toward Winfield, you're going to want to keep a close eye on this storm. Again, keep weather aware here over the next few minutes. We'll keep a close eye on it, as is the Weather Service in Wichita. This storm will continue to push off to the east. They've got a close eye on it as well, and they are continuing to monitor this, and they are aware of that threat. So we're going to keep a close eye on things. Again, across the rest of Kansas, as we take a look at things, those are our cells that we're checking across south central Kansas. They've developed just along and southeast of the Wichita area, along the southeastward moving cold front this afternoon. They're continuing to move off in an easterly direction. So again, let's take a look at our watch map. We have a severe thunderstorm watch portions of south central and southeastern Kansas that goes until 10 p.m. Central Time tonight. Areas along the Kansas-Missouri border, you're under a severe thunderstorm watch that goes until 2 a.m. Central Time tonight. Main risks here are going to be some large hail and damaging winds, but we are going to be monitoring the risk for a tornado or two as well as a possibility. So we'll keep an eye on that right now, but for the time being, again, no active tornado warnings, but we will continue to monitor that cell very carefully there. That's now across the extreme eastern portions of Sumner County, getting ready to move more into Cowley County right now. It definitely has a hook on radar. We've been monitoring some rotation there right around Gueda Springs. So again, if you're in Gueda Springs over toward Hackney and Winfield, you're going to be keeping a very close eye on this storm over the next little while. But we have some reports again of some tennis ball size hail. Just seeing some pictures of that now from Brandon Ivy. Definitely some tennis ball size hail with this storm. You're probably getting in on that right now in the Winfield and Hackney areas. In fact, if we take a look at our radar, it's estimating that's where the largest of the hail core would be. That may be because it's a little bit more in the upper level parts of the storm as well. But Definitely going to keep a close eye on this storm as it continues to push off to the east, continuing to monitor things carefully behind the scenes for any reports of anything. Right now, we just have a wall cloud report there right around and just a mile or two north of Gueda Springs. We'll keep a very close eye on it as that storm continues to push off the east. There's an updated sweep of the radar right now. So again, we're going to continue to keep close eye on the storm, as is the Weather Service in Wichita, and we'll continue to keep you updated. So for the time being, we're going to take a break from continuous coverage as we do not have any active tornado warnings. We'll take a moment to gather some information behind the scenes and continue to keep a close eye on the storm. But again, if you are in the eastern portions of Sumner, more so western Cowley County into the Winfield area, definitely going to want to keep a close eye on the storm. We'll keep a close eye on it. The Weather Service in Wichita keeping a close eye on it as well as it continues to push off to the east. So keep it right here on SiriusWX.net. We'll continue to monitor the storm, and we'll provide additional updates as they become available. Good evening, I'm lead forecaster Peyton Sanders here in the Cirrus Weather Lab in Wichita, coming to you live, tracking severe storms across Kansas. We're tracking a dangerous storm right now across south central Kansas. Let's take a close look at it right now. This is affecting Cowley County, where we just got in a new severe thunderstorm warning, including much of Cowley County right now. Let's get the latest on it. We have a severe thunderstorm warning here for much Cowley County, goes until 7:45. A severe thunderstorm here that we're tracking 6 miles to the north and east of Guada Springs is moving off to the east at around 30 miles per hour. It is a very dangerous storm. We have confirmed reports of some very large hail, tennis ball to baseball size. This storm is rotating. We're continuing to monitor it carefully. We have a wall cloud on this storm and some rotation. So we're keeping a very close eye on this storm, but for sure, if you're in the Winfield and Hackney areas right now, some very large hail, tennis ball to baseball size hail. That's 2.5 to 3 that's 2.5 to 2 3/4 inch diameter hail with this storm. So some destructive hail right now. Again, damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour as well. The storm is rotating, showing some signs of rotation just west of Hackney. We have plenty of spotters on this storm right now. So I think that's in part why we're not seeing any sort of tornado warning with this storm right now. We just have so many spotters that if there is to be a tornado, we're going to get to know very quickly. So Weather Service is for sure keeping a close eye on this storm, as we are as well. So this storm, again, continuing to move off to the east. So Winfield and Hackney are getting in on some very large hail right now. The storm is continuing to push off to the east. Again, a new severe thunderstorm warning here for much of Cowley County that goes again until 7:45. So this warning does now include the Burden, Cambridge, and Dexter areas, and including areas as far south as Arkansas City. So we're continuing to monitor this storm. Very dangerous storm, continuing to move off the east. We'll keep a very close eye on it, and we'll keep you updated. Also tracking some more severe thunderstorm warnings here across south central Kansas. This is a warning for southeastern Harper and southern Sumner counties that is in effect here. Let me get the latest on it. It's in effect till 7:30. Some 60-mile-per-hour winds and half-dollar size hail going to be possible with this storm as it moves off to the north and east at around 25 miles per hour. So Caldwell, South Haven, Mayfield, and Perth, you're included within that severe thunderstorm warning. Again, it continuing to push off in a northeasterly direction, producing some large hail as well. Moving off to the north and east, we have a severe thunderstorm warning, including the south central and southeastern portions of Butler County, as well as the northern portions of Cowley County right now. Let's get the latest information on that severe thunderstorm warning. It's in effect until 7:30. Some 60-mile-per-hour winds and half-dollar size hail possible with this storm as it moves off to the north and east at 25 miles per hour. This warning includes areas like El Dorado, Atlanta, Augusta, the Leon, Beaumont, and Rosalia areas. So again, that continuing to move off to the north and east. We'll keep a close eye on that storm as well. Let's go ahead and take a look here to far southeast Kansas, where we do have a couple severe thunderstorm warnings as well. Southern Labette County is under a severe thunderstorm warning until 7:45 for some ping pong ball sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds as this storm moves off to the east at around 30 miles per hour. Just got in a new severe thunderstorm warning for southwestern Butler, northwestern Cowley, southeastern Sedgwick, and northeastern Sumner counties until 7:45. Let's take a look at that storm. Also do have a severe thunderstorm warning here for the far eastern portions of Cherokee County, looking at some half-dollar sized hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds possible with that storm as well. Getting ready to move off into Missouri. In a new severe thunderstorm warning for southwestern Butler, northwestern Cowley, southeastern Sedgwick, and northeastern Sumner counties until 7:45. Some ping pong ball sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds possible with this storm as it continues to move off to the north and east right now. So that's a storm that we're looking at moving off to the north and east. It does look like it will remain to the south and east of the greater Wichita area, but it could be affecting areas like Derby, Peck, Rose Hill, Belle Plaine, and Wellington as it continues to move off to the north and east. So we're going to continue to keep a close eye on that storm as well. But again, the strongest storm for sure is here across affecting areas across Cowley County right now. We'll keep a close eye on it as that storm continues to push off to the east. Let's see here. Severe thunderstorm warning continues for southeastern Harper and western Sumner counties until 7:30. Some 60-mile-per-hour winds and half dollar-sized hail going to be possible with this storm as it moves off to the north and east at around 30 miles per hour. So again, continue to monitor all these storms carefully. Again, the strongest one for sure is affecting Cowley County right now. I haven't seen any new updates as far as that wall cloud goes. Rotation's still there based on radar right around the Hackney area, but again, plenty of spotters on this storm, so we'll know pretty quickly if it does decide to produce a tornado at this point. But for sure, throw that threat out, and we do have a very large hail threat as well. Some tennis ball to baseball sized hail has been confirmed with this storm by trained spotters in the field. So Winfield and Hackney, you're likely already being impacted by that, but as this storm continues to push off to the east, areas like Burden over toward Dexter and Cambridge, you're next in line for some of that very large hail if this storm does continue to maintain its current intensity. So we'll keep a close eye on it as it continues to push off to the east, as will the Weather Service in Wichita. So again, tracking severe storms, all of them across south central and southeastern Kansas. Right now, we are tracking a tornado warning just across the border into northeast Oklahoma. Let's see where that storm's kind of moving more in an easterly direction. So that threat may remain south of the Kansas border. Again, we'll keep a very close eye on things here, but the main risks are going to be some very large hail and damaging winds with these storms, which we are going to also be looking at a risk for perhaps a tornado or two with these storms as well. That's why we have severe thunderstorm watches in effect south central and southeastern Kansas. That watching goes until 10 p.m. And then it does include areas like Wichita over toward El Dorado into southeastern Kansas, and then a severe thunderstorm watch as well for areas right along the Kansas-Missouri line. For those counties touching the Missouri border, it goes until 2 a.m. Central Time. So we'll continue to monitor all of these storms across south central and southeastern Kansas. We'll continue to look at the latest data behind the scenes, and we'll keep you updated as needed right here on SiriusWX.net. So keep it here. We'll continue to keep you up to date. Good evening, everyone. Lead forecaster Peyton Sanders here in the Cirrus Weather Lab. We have a tornado warning right now for the southwestern portions of Chautauqua, eastern portions of Cowley counties until 8:45. Let's take a closer look at the storm on our high-resolution version of Storm View radar. We've been monitoring multiple storms that have been showing signs of rotation, but been strengthening here recently. And we have some, just kind of looking at some pictures here behind the scenes. Not entirely sure if these are valid or not, but we're seeing some unconfirmed reports of a tornado possibly east of our Kansas City. Not sure whether that's on this storm or farther to the west. So for the time being, this is radar indicated right now west of Cedar Vale. Let me circle the area on there for you. Let me kind of show you how we're dissecting this based on radar. We have the radar site up here in Wichita at the airport, at Wichita Mid-Continent Airport. If we take a look at our storm down here across southeastern Cowley and southwestern Chautauqua counties, we have the green colors going in toward the radar in Wichita, the reds going out away from the radar in Wichita. That's where we get our counterclockwise circulation. So now let me circle the area on there for you. It's sort of a broad area, so that's going to be our most likely location of this possible tornado if it is on the ground. And as we take a look at it right now, you can see where we sort of get that inflow notch of that warm, moist air coming into the storm. So that's going to be our most likely location of this tornado if it is on the ground. We have no confirmed reports right now, but we'll keep a close eye on that. So Cedar Vale, this storm is moving toward your direction. You need to be in your tornado shelters, as well as the Waneta area and Hewins. You need to be in your tornado shelters right now. Again, this storm is moving off to the east at around 25 miles per hour. So again, we're continuing to monitor this storm right now. So let's take a look at this. Let's see. Just getting a new severe thunderstorm warning southeastern Sumner County. We'll keep an eye on that. But again, right now, for the time being, the most significant storm right now, again, is here across South Central Kansas, where the tornado warning is in effect for southwestern Chautauqua and southeastern Cowley counties until 8:45. So we're keeping an eye on this storm. Let's see. Continuing to move off to the south and east. Let's back out and show you the view across the rest of South Central Kansas. We are tracking some other storms. We have seen some signs of weak rotation with some of these earlier. That has since sort of went away. So now the one that we're really concerned about here is really just the one across southeastern Cowley and southwestern Chautauqua counties. So again, tornado warning for the southwestern portions of Chautauqua County, southeastern portions of Cowley County. That goes until 8:45. The most likely location of the possible tornado is 6 miles west of Cedar Vale, moving to the east at around 25 miles per hour. So again, this storm continue to move off in easterly direction. Cedar Vale, you need to be in your tornado shelters right now. Again, let me circle the area on there for you that's going to be having the most likely location for this. Is going to be there just a few miles to the west of your location. So Cedar Vale in particular, be in your tornado shelters. Again, the safest place to be during a tornado is the basement. If you don't have a basement, you need to get to the lowest level of your home as possible, away from windows. Again, an interior bathroom or closet is going to be the safest place to be on the lowest level if you don't have a basement. So again, we'll continue to monitor this storm as it continues to move off to the east. Continuing to keep an eye on things. We don't have any confirmed reports that this is on the ground at this point, but we're keeping a very close eye on it. Again, tornado warning southwestern Chautauqua and southeastern Cowley counties. It's in effect until 8:45. So again, this tornado warning does include Cedar Vale. This is going to be near your location here, possibly within the next 3 minutes or so. So we're keeping a close eye on it as it continues to push off to the east right now. Again, let's put it into motion for you. I'll keep the area circled on there, but we've been monitoring these storms fairly carefully here for some, there's a lot of these Okay, we did have an earlier report of a cone tornado west of Cedarvale, which might be the one that I saw a picture of here behind the scenes, but getting reports now that that has since dissipated. So again, this continue to push off to south and east. It could reproduce at any point in time. So if you're in Cedarvale, definitely be in your tornado shelters right now. Again, this is across the extreme southeastern portions of Cowley County right now, getting ready to move into Chautauqua County. So again, this tornado warning does continue for those counties. That is in effect here until 8:45. Again, some unconfirmed reports of a tornado earlier about 6 miles west of Cedarvale. So continue to push off to the south and east. Cedarvale, definitely remain in your tornado shelters at this point. But based on some of the reports that we're seeing, again, an earlier report of a tornado west of Cedarvale continuing to push off the south and east. It has since lifted from what we're seeing here on some of our reports. So we'll continue to monitor that storm carefully, but okay, yeah, we're getting multiple pictures now of this. This is a tornado warning does continue for southwestern Cowley and southeastern Cowley, southwestern Chautauqua counties till 8:45. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado near Cedarvale now, moving off to the east. So this possible tornado going to be in Cedarvale within the next 5 minutes or so. In addition, this tornado could be looking at some hail up to baseball size now, so definitely a strong storm that's continuing to push off to the south and east. We've got in an updated radar sweep now, and oh yes, that's definitely a little bit stronger than that last sweep of the radar. Well, yeah. So Cedarvale, for sure, you're going to want to be in your tornado shelters at this point. Again, our most likely location of this possible tornado is going to be somewhere right within this region, pretty close to you. So Cedarvale in particular, do remain in your tornado shelters at this point in time. Again, we're continuing to monitor this storm as it continues to push off to the south and east right now. So again, we have not sure whether this is still on the ground, but we're looking at some pictures here behind the scenes of this possible tornado that may be on the ground right now. So definitely do want to be in your tornado shelters. We have, let's see, we're getting in some pictures behind the scenes of this. I believe it's with this storm. It's a cone tornado west of Cedarvale right now. So within the few moments that I saw that, that's when the tornado warning was issued, and now kind of looking more likely that that is what that was. So we're continuing to monitor things carefully right now. Again, definitely Cedarvale, remain in your tornado shelters. Again, lowest level of your home as possible, away from windows, is going to be the safest place to be right now. So again, this storm continuing to push off to the south and east. Again, that circled area for you is going to be where the most likely location of that tornado, if it is on the ground, that's where it's going to be. So Cedarvale, you can see it, yeah, that would just be like a 2 miles to your south and west. So we'll keep an eye on it. It's kind of moving to the east-southeast, so hopefully we'll miss out on Cedarvale, or hopefully it's lifted by now. So we are continuing to monitor this as it continues to move off to the south and east right now. So Cedarvale, for sure, remain in your tornado shelters right now. Hewins and Waneta, you are also included within this tornado warning. So again, right now we have a possible cone tornado on the ground right now. Again, just a few miles to the south and west of Cedarvale, continuing to push off to the south and east. We'll keep it as it continues to do so. So again, that most likely location of that tornado is going to be across the extreme southeastern portions of Cowley County, just west of southwestern Chautauqua County. Tornado warning does continue until 8:45. In addition to the tornado, we're going to be looking at the risk for some hail up to the size of tennis balls with this storm. So we're keeping a close eye on it as it continues to push off to the south and east. Again, I'm gonna check officially from the Weather Service to see if we have any reports. 4 miles south of Dexter at 8:13, we had a brief rope tornado touch down. So that was our only report coming in officially from the Weather Service, but we are getting in some pictures right now from some chasers out in the field that are streaming their chase coverage there. Brandon Ivy on that storm there that we're looking at right now, showing a tornado, so we're keeping an eye on that as it's continuing to push off to the south and east right now. Let's just take a quick moment to look at the other storms that are affecting south central Kansas. We have some other severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. Put the radar up to the current time. We have severe thunderstorm warnings for Cowley as well as southeastern Sumner counties. Let me see if I can get the latest on those. We have a severe thunderstorm warning Cowley and Chautauqua counties. It's in effect until 8:45. If I can get the warning information to pop up, possibly. Let's see. We have that tornado warning, of course. Let's take a look to extreme southeast Kansas. We have severe thunderstorm warning for northern Labette County, 60-mile-per-hour winds, half-dollar size hail possible at that storm. The far southern portions of Cherokee County under a severe thunderstorm warning. Baxter Springs, you may be getting in on some hail and wind as well. And the storms across southern Cowley into the southeastern portions of Sumner County, going to be producing some hail up to golf ball size and 70-mile-per-hour winds. So keep an eye on that. Right now, let's see. Yeah, continuing to get several pictures in here west of Cedarville. So this tornado may still be on the ground at this point. You're definitely going to treat it as such, but definitely enough indication there of rotation on radar. So again, this is going to be it's just a watch update. So again, Cedarville definitely remaining in your tornado shelters right now. We are getting in updated radar information now, so let's take a look at it. Yeah, that's definitely this is definitely pretty close to Cedarville. So if you're in Cedarville, you're definitely going to want to continue to stay in your tornado shelters. We have the green colors going in toward the radar in Wichita, and then the red colors blowing away. That's our counterclockwise circulation, and it's definitely a lot tighter now in this updated sweep of the radar, and that's pretty close to Cedarville. So Cedarville, you're definitely going to want to remain in your tornado shelters. This is pretty much right on top of you, maybe a mile or two to your south and west. So we're getting in pictures of this tornado on the ground. If we're going to have to put an area on there, that's where I'd say going to be the most likely location of this tornado if it is still on the ground. So as you can see, that does include Cedarville there. So definitely in Cedarville, you're going to want to remain in your tornado shelters at this point in time. In addition to that, areas north of Cedarville, you're going to be getting on some large hail, perhaps up to tennis ball size, where we see some of those pink shades up there hiding there behind the radar banner. So Cedarville, for sure, remain in your tornado shelters. This warning does include U.S. Highway 166 from around Winetta to Cedarville for areas about 8 miles to the west of Cedarville as well. It is continuing to push off to the south and east. Again, as we put it into motion, it's that sort of notch that you can see there. That's going to be where the tornado most likely is. So that's the area that we're looking at for the tornado that's continuing to move off to the south and east. Hopefully it remains just to the south and west of Cedarville, but now if you're in Hewins, definitely if you're not already in your tornado shelters, you're next in line. If you're up toward Winetta, I do think that the greatest risk will be off to your south and west. It's moving more in a southeasterly direction now, although it could be moving still eastward. But Winetta, you're officially within the tornado warning, so you do need to be in your tornado shelters as well. Again, this storm continuing to move off to the east-southeast right now. We'll keep a close eye on it. So again, taking a look at things behind the scenes, still getting in pictures of this storm. You can check out our Twitter and Facebook feeds if you want to see that, but it is a cone type tornado that is continuing to push off to the south and east. The Weather Service not officially including it within their tornado warning text, but okay, now they are. Tornado warning remaining in effect for southeastern Cowley and southwestern Chautauqua counties. A confirmed tornado is now near Cedarvale, continuing to push off to the south and east. So again, you can see our pink polygon indicating that this is a confirmed tornado on the ground right now near Cedarvale, pushing off to the south and east. Again, this is no longer just Doppler radar indicated. This is confirmed right now. It's going to be right over Cedarvale, or excuse me, there are just a mile or two to the south and west. So we're going to want to keep a very close eye on things. This Cedarvale definitely remaining in tornado shelters right now, but again, this is a confirmed tornado now, being indicated there with our pink polygon on radar, continuing to push off to the south and east. We'll keep a very close eye on this, but again, this tornado warning does continue for the southeastern portions of Cowley County and southwestern Chautauqua County until 8:45. So Cedarvale, Hewins, Winetta do remain in your tornado shelters. Again, let's see. Your pink polygon indicating that this is this is And we do continue with this tornado warning here again for the southeastern portions of Cowley, southwestern Chautauqua County. We have a confirmed tornado on the ground, getting an updated radar sweep right now. So we'll take a look at things. Actually, that's updated on our reflectivity. We'll wait the rotation on the radar, but definitely Cedarvale, you're right within the middle of this. You're going to want to remain in your tornado shelters at this point as this continues to push off to the south and east. We do continue with this tornado warning. Again, we have confirmed reports of this tornado on the ground near push off to the south and east. So this is a fairly decent sized tornado that is confirmed on the ground right now. Let me take a look at the report from the National Weather Service. Let's see. Not yet seeing the report, but this is being reported as a quote large tornado. Exactly how large that is, not entirely sure. From the pictures that I'm seeing, this is of a cone variety. There's our updated radar sweep. So Cedarvale, most definitely you're going to want to remain in your tornado shelters at this point as this storm continues to push off to the south and east. Again, I'm just going to kind of go with a broad area that could be within this. Let me go ahead and update that now. And yeah, that's going to keep Cedarvale within that risk area, continuing to push off the south and east. Hewins, you're definitely now getting this tornado is just about 4 to 5 miles to your west-northwest, continuing to push off to the south and east. And there it is coming in now. Reporting a fairly large-sized tornado on the ground at 8:20. That coming in from law enforcement 1 mile to the south and west of Cedarvale. So let's hope this is remaining south and west of Cedarvale and continuing to push off to the south and east right now. So Hewins, the attention now turns to you. Winetta as well. Do remain within your tornado shelters. Again, this storm continuing to move off to the south and east this evening. So again, this is a confirmed tornado on the ground moving off to the south and east. It's a fairly decent sized tornado. It's certainly not a weak one, continuing to move off to the south and east. So Cedarvale, remaining your tornado shelters. This looks like this may have passed just a very close mile to the south and west of Cedarvale, but that actually would now put Hewins at a more direct risk. So Hewins for sure do remain in your tornado shelters. Winetta as well. Elgin, you're not included within this tornado warning there. It's just above the ticker there at the bottom of the screen. You want to start getting prepared now as well, as this storm continues to progress off to the south and east. Again, we have a confirmed tornado again near Cedarvale, moving off to the east to east-southeast right now. So definitely remain in your tornado shelters. Again, we'll continue to keep a very close eye on this storm. Want to give a quick update. Again, we're going to keep on this storm for the most part. We just want to give a quick update to the rest of you across south central and southeastern Kansas, tracking some other severe thunderstorms as well. Main risk with those are going to be some large hail and damaging winds. They're all progressing off to the east to east-southeast right now, and will continue to do so. And you can sort of see how they're starting to all sort of merge together. That's good news in terms of the tornado risk. Once this occurs, we're expecting the risk to transition more to some damaging winds as well as perhaps some hail. But again, as these storms sort of merge, we're expecting the transition to more of a damaging wind and heavy rainfall risk, as these storms will begin to push off to the east to southeast across extreme southeast Kansas into northeast Oklahoma. So we're going to continue with this tornado risk here for the next little while, and we'll keep a close eye on it. But again, as these storms continue to push off to the south and east, we'll keep an eye on it. Okay, let's head back to the tornado warned storm right now, getting an update on the actual polygon right now. Let's see. Tornado warning does continue for southeastern Cowley and southwestern Chautauqua counties until 8:45. Confirmed tornado near Cedarvale. So we do continue to track this confirmed tornado on the ground. Okay, we are looking at things now. The area of the circulation here just west of Hewins now. So earlier, if you're tuning in, it was just to the south and west of Cedarvale by about a mile at the most. Now we're looking at Hewins, more in a direct path. Let's take a look here. This is the rotation within the storm, the radar indicating which way the winds are blowing. And basically, if we take a look at this, we have our radar site up in the Wichita area. We have the green colors blowing in toward the radar in Wichita, red colors blowing away. That's where we get our counterclockwise circulation. And this is not just radar indicated. We have confirmed reports of spotters in the field right now that are on this storm, confirmed reports of this tornado. So earlier it was just to the south and west of Cedarvale. Let's hope it did remain just to the south and west of Cedarvale. We've had reports of it earlier that was about 1 mile to the south and west. We have trained spotters reporting this as a, quote, large tornado that was earlier near Cedarvale. Now I'd put that closer to Hewins as it's continuing to push off to the south and east. Actually, that's not what I wanted here. So Hewins, you're in a more direct path. Winetta, you're also going to want to remain in your tornado shelters. Again, the safest place to be during a tornado is the basement. You're going to want to get there right now. Again, this is confirmed on the ground, moving off in a southeasterly direction. If you don't have a basement, you're going to want to get to the lowest level of your home as possible, away from windows. The best place is going to be the center of your home if you don't have a basement, into a bathroom or closet. You're going to want to wear shoes to your shelter. If this does strike a town down. It's on the ground, so there could be debris in the air, and we'll just hope that it stays out of Hewins and any of these populated areas here now across southwestern Chautauqua County. The storm continued to push off the south and east, so wear your shoes to your shelter. Again, this is confirmed on the ground by train spotters in the field, continuing to push off to the south and east right now. Again, let's get the latest here on this tornado warning. It does remain in effect for southeastern Cowley and southwestern Chautauqua counties until 8:45. Again, this is confirmed on the ground right now, moving off in an east to east-southeasterly direction. I'd actually put it more due southeast toward Hewins. So if you're in Hewins, definitely remain in your tornado shelters. Even up there toward Winetta, this is going to be very close to you. We're talking a matter of a couple miles within both of these locations. So Cedarvale, the good news is it's now pushing off to your south and east. We'll keep an eye on it. I do want to take a look at something too that I'm noticing here. Click the right button. Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on things, but let's just give a quick update to the rest of you in south central Kansas. Right now we're tracking the yellow polygons as there's severe thunderstorm warnings that are in effect here. Main risk there are going to be some large hail and damaging winds. If we take a look at the loop of the radar, earlier we had these storms sort of separated out from each other, but they're starting to merge into one big cluster, and that's good news in terms of the tornado risk. As these storms sort of merge into a big cluster and push southeastward, that means the tornado risk is going to go down. So we're going to continue to monitor that, but for the time being, again, the tornado warning does continue there for southeastern Cowley, southwestern Chautauqua counties. But again, as these storms sort of cluster together, that would diminish the tornado risk, and we'd start to see more of a damaging wind and heavy rainfall risk as these storms continue to progress southeastward through far southeastern Kansas and eventually into the northeastern portions of Oklahoma. So we'll keep an eye on that, but for the time being, again, we do continue with this tornado warning. Again, confirmed tornado on the ground, probably closer to Hewins now. Okay. Just getting a new tornado warning now. Southern Chautauqua and extreme southeastern Cowley counties. Confirmed tornado 5 miles to the south and east of Cedarvale, moving off to the south and east at 25 miles per hour. This is going to be near the Elgin area by 8:55, and this now does include the city of Chautauqua. So let's take a look here. Let me go ahead and get a new look at things right now. Let's shift the radar scope there just a little bit farther to the east, and again, we're continuing to monitor this area as the most likely location of this possible tornado if it is on the ground, continuing to push off to the south and east. So let's give me just a moment here. Okay, let's see. So this does now include areas like Sedan over towards Chautauqua and Elgin. So this is also starting to sort of become rain wrapped. So it's going to begin to get to be a little bit harder to see. But and of course it's getting to be nighttime too. So don't try and go out and see this tornado. Again, we have confirmed reports of it on the ground. Again, Weather Service now putting it 5 miles to the south and east of Cedarvale. If we sort of count the county blocks, we can sort of count that. So this would be about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 miles. So that's going to be very close to Hewins right now, just south and west of Winetta, moving off to the south and east. So Hewins and Winetta, you're in the immediate danger zone. In fact, there's an updated radar sweep coming in. This is going to be now right over or just to the north and east. We're talking by a mile or two of Hewins and just about 2 to 3 miles south of Winetta, moving off to the south and east. So Elgin, Chautauqua, Sedan, you're now in the area of concern as this tornado continues to push off to the east. Again, we have confirmed reports of it. So you've been seeing pictures of it here behind the scenes of it. Let's circle the most likely area of it, and that's going to be right over Hewins. So we're going to continue to monitor this carefully, and again, it's starting to become sort of rain wrapped. Now, in addition to this tornado, we did earlier see the possibility of some hail up to tennis ball size. Now looking like that's going to be more around the ping pong ball size as this storm continues to push off to the south and east. But again, this is confirmed on the ground by train spotters in the field. This is not just Doppler radar indicated. We certainly do have indications on radar of it, but This is confirmed by trained spotters in the field, continuing to push off to the south and east. So again, confirmed tornado 5 miles to the south and east of Cedarvale, moving off to the south and east. Again, Hewins, Winetta, and now over toward Elgin, the Chautauqua and Sedan, all those populated areas, as well as for those of you in the rural areas of southern Chautauqua County, do remain in your tornado shelters. Again, this tornado warning, new tornado warning again, southern Chautauqua and extreme southeastern Cowley counties until 9:15. So another half hour on this storm. Again, it is continuing to move off to the south and east. We'll keep a close eye on it as it continues to do so. But again, as we take a look at things based on radar, this thing has not been weakening at all in the past few scans. Let me see if I can, there we go. Yeah, definitely not weakening within the past several scans. So this is continuing now, continuing to move off to the south and east again for the southern portions of Chautauqua County. Again, this is a confirmed report of a tornado continuing to move off to the south and east. This is the Kansas Oklahoma lines continue to push off to the south and east, so maybe well, it's going to be at least another half hour or so before we get this out of Kansas and into Oklahoma, so we'll keep an eye on it. But for the time being, again, Hewins over toward Winetta, Elgin, Chautauqua, Sedan, all going to want to be in your tornado shelters. Again, the safest place to be during a tornado is the basement. If you don't have a basement, you need to get to the lowest level of your home as possible, away from windows. Get into a bathroom or closet. Cover yourself with blankets and pillows from potentially flying debris. Wear your shoes to your shelter no matter where you go. I'm not sure if there's any mobile home parks in these communities, but if there is, you're going to want to be evacuating right now. Don't wait. And getting to your designated shelter or a nearby building with a basement, or at least a more substantial shelter than a mobile home. Again, it's continuing to push off to south and east. Most immediate threat is right around Winetta and Hewins for the area that is circled there on the radar. And that's going to be moving over toward Elgin here within the matter of a minute or two, and then eventually over towards Chautauqua and Sedan. So we'll keep a very close eye on this as it continues to progress off to the east. Let me see where our radar is at here. Should be getting a new scan in here momentarily, but again, if you're just joining us, we have a new tornado warning now that is in effect for extreme southeastern Cowley and southern Chautauqua counties until 9:15. This does replace the previous tornado warning that was in effect for these counties. So continue to push off to the south and east. Again, this just barely includes Cowley County. So Cowley County, you're pretty much, well, we are continuing with the tornado warning for you though, because we are this is more of a straight line wind damage risk. Let me get rid of our circle there. This is more of a straight line wind damage risk here across the southeastern portions of Cowley County, but you couldn't even rule out something kind of trying to spin up there along the leading edge of that line segment there across far southeastern Cowley County. But of course, we'll keep an eye on that. But the main risk for sure is right across the southern portions of Chautauqua County right now. Again, we're waiting in our new sweep of the radar, but most likely location of that tornado is going to be right over Hewins, continuing to push off to the south right now. We'll put it into motion for you as we await our next radar sweep. So Elgin for sure. It may look like based on radar right now that it is still way off to your northwest, but this is we're still waiting for a new radar sweep. In fact, there it is coming in, and we're sort of getting our, let's see. Okay, we're sort of in a bad spot on the radar now. We get this problem with the radar every so often once we get within a certain range, but you can still see it there on radar that the looks like the most likely location now just for areas around and just east of Hewins. So that's pushing it even closer to the Elgin area. You're going to want to definitely remain in your shelter. Hewins want to remain in your tornado shelters as well. Again, this is continued to be a confirmed tornado, but if you notice here, I want to step you through something. You can sort of see here earlier, this is our notch. That's where the tornado was earlier when it was around Cedarvale. but you notice how it's sort of out by itself. Now it's starting to get engulfed into this line as we're going to start to see outflow winds, straight lined wind damage become more dominant, which is going to begin to decrease our tornado risk within the next hour or so. So we'll continue to monitor that. Let me show you, actually, we have severe thunderstorm watch for south central and southeastern Kansas. That goes until 10 p.m. So about another hour on that. Just reading up from something from the Storm Prediction Center, a new severe weather watch, or at least an extension of the time, is going to be needed here by 10 o'clock. We'll see if that will include any portions of Wichita, or excuse me, not any portions of Wichita, for any portions of Kansas, I should say. But again, those counties shaded in yellow, we're looking at a severe thunderstorm watch. South central and southeast Kansas, that goes until 10 p.m. And for areas right along the Kansas-Missouri line, it goes until 2 a.m. Central Time. Let me sort of give you a big picture look for just real quick, and you can see all the storms through south central Kansas continue to push off to south and east, but you can see how they're starting to sort of cluster together, so making our risk more for some straight line wind damage and heavy rainfall here within the next hour or so. And we're checking some more storms here across for areas right around the Turnpike, Greenwood County, northern Butler County, and then all the way up into areas just east of Topeka, moving toward Kansas City. We'll continue to monitor that activity for the potential for some strong to severe storms, but again, the main activity here across south central and southeast Kansas, if we're not talking about your storm right now, the main risk is going to be some large and damaging winds if you're under a severe thunderstorm warning. So we're continuing this tornado warning. It's in effect until 9:15. Extreme southeastern Cali and for much of Chautauqua County, especially the southwestern and south central portions of Chautauqua County. Let's get back right into the storm of concern right now, and that is the storm especially across the southern portions of Chautauqua County now. This is going to be our most likely location of this tornado. That's going to be right around Hewins, just to the north and west of Elgin, continuing to move off to the south and east. That area circled on there for you is going to be the most likely location of this, and it's continuing to push off to the south and east. So let's see, it's certainly getting darker. We have trained spotters in the field on this storm, but it's certainly getting darker, and it's going to be a lot harder to see this tornado now as it's continuing to move through. Let's see, we have a report. This was coming in from Cedarvale at 8:45. An estimated 70 to 80 mile per hour wind gust coming out 4 miles south of Cedarvale and Chautauqua County. So let's take a look at that here real quick, kind of address that concern as well. You can see those bright shades of red there west of Cedarvale. That's going to be some straight line wind damage there. And so that could potentially be moving through Cedarvale, but definitely the circled areas where we're looking at the tornado risk. But as this line sort of merges together, we may begin to see this tornado risk decrease, but we're not there yet. We're definitely still looking at the risk of this tornado as it's continuing to push off to the south and east. Certainly not letting up based on the rotation on radar, so we continue with the tornado warning again for extreme southeastern Cowley and much of Chautauqua counties. It goes until 9:15. We'll continue to keep a close eye on it, but again, the most likely location there going to be right around or just to the east. Let's see, tornado warning just has been canceled for Cowley County, so the extreme southeastern portions of Cowley County have been let go from this tornado warning, but it does continue right now for Chautauqua County until 9:15. A confirmed tornado near Elgin, moving off to the south and east at around 30 miles per hour. This is going to be in and around Elgin here within the next 4 minutes or so, and eventually, if this does maintain its strength, going to be in Chautauqua, the town of Chautauqua, by 9:05. So we'll continue to monitor this. Sedan, the good news, it looks like it may remain off to your south and west, but that's not the case for Elgin and Chautauqua. You're going to want to remain in your tornado shelter. Sedan also do need to remain in your tornado shelters as well as the storm continues to push off to the south and east. We'll continue to keep an eye on it. Let's back out here and show you what's happening across the rest of south central Kansas right now. Other severe thunderstorm warnings in effect from around the Wellington and Winfield areas as far east as Parsons. And we're still tracking storms across the extreme southeastern portions of Kansas as well. But again, if we take a look at this sort of cluster here that we're looking, you can see the notch from the tornado and how it's sort of being engulfed now by the heavy rain. So again, we'll keep an eye on it. So the good news is we should begin to see the tornado risk decrease within the next hour or so as these storms begin to cluster together and move off the south and east. We'll begin to see the main risk become some damaging winds and torrential rainfall. Do you want to show you the severe thunderstorm watch that we have in effect across south central and southeastern Kansas? It does go until 10 p.m. Central Time. It does include Wichita. Based on the radar right now, I'd say that the greatest risk still going to remain southeast of Wichita. We are looking at some more storms developing along the turnpike, as I mentioned earlier, around Emporia. We'll keep a close eye on those. And then for areas along the Kansas Missouri line, that say severe thunderstorm watch, it goes until 2 a.m. Central Time. So we're keeping a close eye on these storms again as they continue to push off the south and east. But as I mentioned, our greater risk is going to start to become some damaging straight line winds and some torrential rainfall as these storms begin to form into a cluster and move southeastward through south central and southeastern Kansas. So let's head back to the radar picture right now, and we can get an updated sweep of the radar here on this tornado warned storm here for Chautauqua County. Let's get in even closer right now and take a look at things. Yeah, that rotation is not letting up. It's been consistent for the past several scans, so it is continuing to push off in a southeasterly direction. Elgin, you do need to remain in your tornado shelters. Chautauqua, this is now getting close to you as well. Sedan, you need to remain in your tornado shelters as well as this storm continues to push off to the south and east. So let's take a look at this updated sweep of the radar right now. Let me circle. Let me just kind of show you here. We have the greens coming in toward the radar, as I've showed you earlier. Greens coming in toward the radar. Reds, outbound velocities coming out away from the radar. That's a counterclockwise area of circulation. The brighter the colors, the stronger the winds right now. Let me kind of look at things. So that's going to be our most likely location of this tornado. It is continued to be confirmed on the ground by trained spotters just a mile or two to the north and west of Elgin right now, pushing off to the south and east. So you're going to definitely want to be in your tornado shelters. Elgin, as we've been mentioning here over the past little while. Chautauqua now, the concern is also beginning to be in your area here. This is just a few miles to the west-northwest of you, moving off to the south and east. So again, tornado warning does continue for Chautauqua County. That goes until 9:15 p.m. Central Time. Again, in addition to this tornado, again, ping pong ball sized hail behind this tornado risk around Cedarville right now over toward Winetta and Hewins, getting in on the possibility of some hail up to ping pong ball size after this tornado risk moves through. So again, we're going to continue to monitor this, but the rotation based on radar certainly has not led up, and that would lead you to believe that there could still be this tornado on the ground. In fact, well, the Weather Service is confirming it still on the ground, but definitely the rotation there on radar to support that as it continues to push off to the south and east right now. We'll keep a close eye on it. Again, Elgin, you need to remain in your tornado shelters, as well as Chautauqua. Yeah, those two areas are the having the greatest concern right now. This is getting. Let's take a look at this here. Kind of put this into motion. This could pass maybe just a mile or two to the north of Elgin. We'll hope it does, and hopefully it won't impact Chautauqua County. Hopefully it can remain just in the rural areas here of Chautauqua County. Right now, we'll see if that can affect the city of Chautauqua County. The city of Chautauqua, I should say, here probably within the next 10 minutes or so. We'll keep a close eye on this. Again, you're going to your tornado shelters. Again, there's an updated sweep of the radar right now, sort of getting engulfed by rain, but the rotation's still definitely there on radar. Elgin, remain in your tornado shelters right now. It's dark. You're not going to be able to see this tornado anymore. I'm looking behind the scenes, and I haven't seen much in the way of pictures. That's because the sun's going down as well now. So we'll keep an eye on this, but the Weather Service does still have this confirmed on the ground right now, continuing to move off to the south and east. So Elgin is going to be a very close call, as well as Chautauqua need to remain in your tornado shelters. If you're in Sedan, the good news is it looks like this risk is going to remain just off to your south and west as this tornado continues to move off to the south and east. So Elgin and Chautauqua need to remain in your tornado shelters right now. Tornado warning does continue for Chautauqua County. That goes until 9:15. Let's show you what's happening once again across the rest of south central Kansas. That pink polygon there indicating that this is a confirmed tornado right now. Tornado warning has just been extended now for the National Weather Service in Tulsa, issuing that down into the north central and northeastern portions of Oklahoma, out of our area. So we'll continue to monitor that, but definitely tornado risk continuing and going to begin to move off into Oklahoma here within the next 45 minutes or so, probably even sooner than that. We'll keep an eye on it. Farther to the north, these are the storms that I was mentioning earlier from around Emporia, right along the turnpike. Not severe. Not really too strong right now. The one south of Burlington is probably the strongest of them, maybe producing some small hail, gusty winds. Also tracking another storm along I-70, getting ready to move into the Kansas City area right now. We'll keep an eye on that storm. That's moving pretty rapidly. So Kansas City Metro about to be getting on a storm, not currently strong or severe. Checking a couple severe thunderstorm warnings as well. We'll do a hit on those real quick. Let's see, we have a severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect for Sumner County. Let's get the latest on that there. Actually, that would be Southern Cowley County in effect until 9:15. Line of storm, that area around south and west of Winfield, moving off the south and east, 70-mile-per-hour winds, ping pong ball size hail possible. And then the easternmost warning here is severe thunderstorm warning, northern Labette, southeastern Neosho County, 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail. That storm moving to the northeast at 30 miles per hour. Other than that, storms may be producing small hail, gusty winds, but for sure, the area of greatest concern is this storm that is across Chautauqua County. Just want to let you know real quick, the storm for northern Labette and southeastern Neosho counties, that severe thunderstorm warning has now expired here at the top of the hour. So that storm no longer severe. Again, as you can see, these storms sort of forming more into a cluster and is pushing off more to the southeasterly, in a southeasterly direction now. And again, we're going to continue to see the risk become more for some damaging straight line wind gusts, as well as some very heavy rainfall as this line continues to push off to the south and east. So let's head back to the storm of greatest concern right now across Chautauqua County. Our radar hasn't updated here within 10 minutes. Let me get my secondary source behind the scenes and see if it has updated any sooner from a different source here. Right now, let me for now circle the area on there. That's the most likely location of this tornado right now, continuing to move off in a southeasterly direction. Elgin, again, as we've continued to mention, that would be because I didn't have it up to the current frame. So let's take a look at it right now and take a look at things. This sweep is about 5 minutes old. Should be getting in our new one any moment, but let me circle the area that's most likely location of this tornado if it is still on the ground, continuing to move off to the south and east. So Elgin for sure wanting to remain in your tornado shelters. Chautauqua, you're now in an area of concern as well. The good news is, again, as I mentioned earlier, Sedan, this should remain off to your south and west. So continuing to push off to the south and east. Elgin and Chautauqua, concerns for this tornado as it continues to push off to the south and east. Looking at an updated sweep on a secondary source behind the scenes. Well, in fact, this sweep just coming in on the on-air radar as well. We'll wait it there for the rotation, but it's sort of getting harder to define based on the reflectivity here, as it's starting to become a little bit more rain wrapped and the line starts to take over. We'll await our updated sweep here on the velocities on the radar, but definitely Elgin and Chautauqua, you're going to want to remain in your tornado shelters. If you're back towards Cedarville and Waneta, the risk is for a tornado is over for you. Again, as I mentioned, Elgin and Chautauqua, the towns of Elgin and Chautauqua, far southern portions of Chautauqua County, is where we're looking at the greatest risk for this tornado if it is still on the ground right now. There's our updated radar sweep, and boy, that's going to be right over Elgin, if anything, right now, if it's still on the ground. So if you are in Elgin, you want to remain in your tornado shelters. Chautauqua as well. It's starting to take, let me head back here onto our velocities, and looks like it's might start to be taking a little bit more of a due southeasterly to south-southeasterly path right now. So that's some good news possibly for those of you in Chautauqua. If that does continue, it could remain just off to the west of you, and we may begin to see this become more outflow dominant, start to see more of a straight line wind threat as this line continues to push off to the south and east. But for the time being, again, we do continue with this tornado warning for Chautauqua County until 9:15. Also have a tornado warning that has been extended down into northeast Oklahoma by the National Weather Service in Tulsa. That's out of our area though, so the good news is it looks like this may begin to move out of Kansas here momentarily. Let's see, update on the tornado warning now. Remains in effect for southern Chautauqua County until 9:15. Confirmed tornado near Elgin moving off to the south and east at 30 miles per hour. Good news is it looks like it's beginning to affect mainly the rural portions of the county, although that might just be because the program that they do that sort of automatically puts locations in there. So Elgin and Chautauqua County do definitely remain in your tornado shelters at this point in time. We still do have that area of rotation on radar right over Elgin. We're sort of in a bad spot on the radar looking at this storm right now, but we'll continue to monitor it. But Elgin, Chautauqua for sure, as I continue to mention, remain in your tornado shelters for the time being. If you're farther back to the west, I'm trying to see if they've updated the polygon on this tornado warning, and they haven't. They've kept it all the way back into the Cedarville area, but just getting an updated sweep of the radar on my behind the scenes source. Yeah, our area of rotation, if it's still there, is going to be right over Elgin right now. So Elgin, definitely remain in your tornado shelters right now. Chautauqua as well. I'm kind of circling it based off of our behind the scenes source as well. So dodge a bullet here. You're not going to want to take a chance though. Still remain in your tornado shelters if you're in Chautauqua, the town of Chautauqua. If you're up in Sedan, the tornado risk is a few miles to your south now, so we're good there. If you're in the town of Sedan. Let's see. Let's head back to northeast Kansas. We'll come back to the storm here in just a few moments. That storm that's heading toward the Kansas City area just got a severe thunderstorm warning on it. There's a severe thunderstorm warning for Johnson and northern Miami counties until 9:45. Severe thunderstorm 5 miles east of Vinland, moving to the east at 50 miles per hour. It's going to be capable of some 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. This does include I-135 between mile markers 201 and 220. So again, quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds possible with that storm. So we are continuing to monitor the storm again. Based on radar now, it looks like to the south and east into northern Oklahoma right now, but tornado warning does continue for the time being across southern for southern Chautauqua County until 9:15. So another few minutes left to go on this. So we'll keep an eye on it as it continues to progress southeastward right now. But again, tornado warning does continue across southern Chautauqua County. It goes until 9:15. But based on radar, northern Oklahoma. But the towns of Elgin, Chautauqua do remain in your tornado shelters at this point. If you're up towards Sedan, Winetta, and Cedarvale, the tornado risk would now be well off to your south now. You may be getting in on some straight line wind gusts up to 60 to 70 miles per hour in the Hewin area as this continues to push out to south and east. But again, we are looking at, looks like now, the greater tornado. Weather Service in Tulsa still mentioning a confirmed tornado near Elgin, so definitely Elgin, Chautauqua do remain in your time being as this storm is continuing to progress off to the south and east. We have another few minutes left to go on this tornado warning, but if you're up toward Hewins, Cedarvale, Winetta, and Sedan, you're the all clear. This tornado risk is now right along the Kansas-Oklahoma line from Elgin to Chautauqua, moving off to the south and east. And sweep behind the scenes. Elgin and Chautauqua, just stick in your tornado shelters for the next few minutes. The tornado warning does continue until 9:15. We'll continue to keep a close eye on it though as it continues to progress southeastward off into northern Oklahoma. So let's back out and show you what's happening across the rest of south central Kansas as that threat begins to push off into Oklahoma. We're left with two other severe thunderstorm warnings. One's across the southern 15. This storm moving to the east across the western portions of the county may be producing some hail up to quarter size and damaging winds up to 60. Tracking another severe thunderstorm warning here across northeastern Kansas. That is a severe thunderstorm warning that includes areas like Olathe down toward Gardner. That's a severe thunderstorm warning for Johnson and northern Miami counties until 9:45. Some 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail going to be possible with that storm as well as it affects the southern suburbs of the Kansas City metro area. So again, tornado warning does continue right now for Chicago. An updated sweep of the radar right now, but Elgin and Chautauqua, based on what I'm looking at here behind the scenes on a secondary source, remain in your tornado shelters. Tornado warning, just getting in this information, tornado warning for southern Chautauqua County will expire at 9:15. The greatest tornado risk moving out of Chautauqua County. So again, the tornado warning for Chautauqua County is going to be allowed to expire at 9:15. So tornado risk that cluster of storms continues to progress off to the south and east right now. So and then still awaiting word on whether this severe thunderstorm warning will be allowed to expire or not. I imagine it will be. Storm certainly is weakening here, but it has shown a little bit of an uptick in intensity here in the last few scans. So we'll keep an eye on that. So maybe looking still at some hail up to quarter size or some gusty winds up to 60 of Winfield, potentially moving over toward Dexter. The threat is north and east of our Kansas City right now. As we take the other storms here across southeast Kansas from Neodacia over toward Parsons, they could perhaps be producing some small hail and gusty winds. No warnings on that activity right now, continuing to move off in an easterly direction as well. Let's see here. Let's come up here into the east central portions of the state right now. Track down into northern Greenwood County and then over into the east central portions of the state. Could be looking at some perhaps some small hail and gusty winds with those, especially the ones southeast there of Burlington. And then again, another severe thunderstorm warning here into the northeastern portions of the state. That goes until 9:45. 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail possible there with that storm. That's a severe thunderstorm warning there for the yellow outlined area. Just getting in a new severe thunderstorm warning. Severe thunderstorm warning southeastern Chautauqua, southwestern Montgomery counties until 9:45. The storm near Chautauqua moving off to the east to southeast at 30 miles per hour is going to be capable of some 60-mile-per-hour winds and some quarter-sized hail. So the good news is that any tornado risk is now off to our south into Oklahoma. So earlier, if you are in your tornado shelters in Chautauqua and the Elgin areas, you have the all clear to northern Oklahoma. We're going to be left, though, at the risk for some quarter-sized hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. Severe thunderstorm watch does continue south central and southeast Kansas until 10 p.m. That includes Wichita, the areas like Chanute, as well as El Dorado, Winfield, Wellington. So another 45 minutes left to go. As this cluster pushes out of Kansas and into Oklahoma, we will see if a new watch will be issued. Severe thunderstorm watch does continue across the areas right along the Kansas-Missouri line until 2 a.m. So we'll continue to monitor for a risk there. But again, this cluster of storms that we've been continuing to track through south central Kansas is going to continue to progress off to the south and east across extreme southeast Kansas and more so into the northern portions of Oklahoma here within the next little while. New severe thunderstorm warning. Let's see. Southeastern Cowley counties until 10 p.m. Let's take the radar real quick, and that's that storm that we were talking about earlier that was to the south and east of Winfield, northeast of our Kansas City. New severe thunderstorm warning here for this yellow polygon. Some 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-sized hail possible with this storm as it moves off to the east at 40 miles per hour. So Cedarvale and Maple City included within this warning, as well as Dexter down towards Silverdale and Hewins, Winetta. We'll continue to monitor that storm as it moves up. Now moving off now into northern Oklahoma. Again, new severe thunderstorm warning there across the southeastern portions of Chautauqua County, southwestern Montgomery County. Again, 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-sized hail possible there. And that severe thunderstorm pushing eastward in the southern suburbs of the Kansas City metro area, looking at some quarter-sized hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds possible as well. Thanks for sticking with us here. We will continue live streaming radar for the next little while and keep you updated as needed.